Hello and welcome to SAP on Microsoft Azure. My name is Holger Bruchelt, and this video is basically a summary of some of the demos that I've done in the recent days, basically. So it's all about providing customers the user interface of choice. Thanks to SAP Fiori and the whole OData movement, it's actually pretty easy to use SAP Fiori screen, but similarly easy it is to take the underlying OData service and expose this data in a Power App, in Outlook, in Excel, in Teams, in another Fiori application, and enriching this with the Microsoft Graph. So in the next few minutes, I basically want to guide you through several user screens from Office, from Teams, from Power Apps, and give you an idea of what you could present your customers with. Most of the content is already published as part of this YouTube channel. Some of the content, like the Power Apps and the Teams integration, will soon follow, and hopefully you'll be able to watch the behind the scenes, how this is done very soon as well. Okay, so let's take a look. Here we'll start with the SAP Fiori Launchpad. In the SAP Fiori Launchpad, and you can see I'm using here the SAP ES5 developer system. In the Fiori Launchpad I have different tiles, and one of these tiles allows me to take a look at products available in my SAP system. So I just click here on, I can just click here on Start, and then I get a list of products from the SAP system. So I get a bunch of products, laptops and stuff like that, and one of these laptops that I want to focus on is here this laptop HT1003. So to start our journey, let's pretend that we do not have enough laptops available. So I need to order some new ones. Well, I could use here the SAP Cloud Platform Workflow Services, where I just want to request 100 new laptops. So I'll just click on Order. So this was a very small, simple workflow that I have created. And typically what you would now do is go back to your My Inbox, and then approve the workflow directly here from the SAP Fiori user interface. So here's our workflow. Well, the first thing that we want to take a look at now is that you don't need to do this from Fiori. Let's pretend you are a user that is very much living in Outlook, and obviously you would like to approve this workflow directly in Outlook, getting the notification that there is a new workflow, and then being able to approve the workflow directly in Outlook. So let's switch over to Outlook. So here we have the email coming in, or the workflow coming in, and you can see I have all the relevant information in here. But the beautiful thing now is that I can just click on Approve directly from Outlook. The task is completed, and if I switch back to my Fiori user interface and do a refresh here, you can also see that this task is now gone from my SAP system. So we just provided a new user interface to allow the SAP user or the user to interact with the SAP system. Let's head back to our product list here in the Fiori user interface. Obviously, the big advantage, or the reason why we can do all these things, is because Fiori is using an OData service. And if I look behind the scenes, then this is basically the OData service that I'm using throughout my demo here. Well, instead of working in the SAP Fiori user interface here, I can also get the very same information in Excel. So if I switch over to Excel and I just connect to this very same OData service and enter just the OData URL in here, I click on OK, then Excel is connecting to this OData service, retrieving a list of products, or at first it retrieves the schema and everything. So it allows me now to select and rearrange and whatever the data. But now if I click on Load, then we are getting a live view into our SAP system. Here we go. Now the beautiful thing with this setup is that the data is not static anymore. So let's switch back to Fiori. Let's click on Edit. And let's change the price to 1550. So we're reducing the price of this laptop. Now, obviously, the data is out of sync. Here in Fiori, I have $1,550. In Outlook, I have, in Excel, I still have 1,650. Well, the beautiful thing is now I can just click on refresh and we are retrieving the latest information from the SAP system. And here we go, we have 1550 now also in Excel. Obviously, I could also create a template for this Excel file so that any user in my company could just open a blank template, click on refresh, and get the latest information from the SAP system. So this is a one-way communication. I can always read information from the SAP system. What about the case that I want to update information into my SAP system? Well, here I can simply use a functionality in Excel that allows me to create an add-in that allows me to enrich my Excel screen or my Excel sheet with information from other sources. So in this specific case, I created a very small example that allows me to retrieve or enter a product ID. If I click on read, you can see right now we still have the old price here, but if I click on read, then the price is updated here also in Excel. But similar like what we had before. But now I can also reduce the price even further here, and I click on write to SAP, and now we're sending this information back to the SAP system. Which obviously means if I check in Excel and if I do a refresh here, I should get the updated price, 1450. And similarly, if I switch to the SAP Fiori user interface and do a refresh here, I can also see the updated price here in the SAP Fiori user interface. So perfect. Now I have the data in Fiori, I have the data in Excel, but let's think about a scenario where I also want to take the data on different applications, maybe my mobile phone, maybe I want to embed it in other scenarios. And yes, I could do this in SAP Fiori, but if I'm a Microsoft focused person, I probably want to use something like Power Apps. I'll not go into details in this video on how to create these Power Apps, but actually this is a low-code, no-code solution that allows me to easily connect to an SAP system, for example. So I've tried to brand this a little Fiori-like. Obviously, this is not yet following the full Fiori design principles, but if I click on refresh here, we're connecting to the SAP system and retrieving the latest information from there. And in this case, for example, again, this specific product. This very same application would also work on my mobile phone. It could be embedded in a SharePoint list. It could be embedded in a Fiori Launchpad, in the SAP Cloud Platform portal services. So there's really a very, very easy way to integrate these scenarios in other SAP screens. The next thing that I quickly want to show is now that we want to interact with this with SAP products from a chatbot. So for this, I'll switch to Teams, and in Teams here, I've created a small chatbot scenario. So I can just type in hello and start the interaction with my chatbot, and I can also ask the chatbot to show me products that are in stock. So for example, I get here a number of products back. And I could also take a closer look at one of these products, so our HT1003. So we're calling the SAP system, retrieving the relevant information from SAP. And again, here I get the information back with the latest pricing information from my SAP system. In the final step, I'll actually want to switch back to Fiori. So here's a very simple Fiori application that returns again this list of products, and I can see here our famous notebook HT1003, and everything's fine. But the screen here is actually enhanced. If I click on this specific product ID, I see that there's no emails are found basically. So what we're doing is actually we're calling this specific system and looking up emails, related emails for this product. Now, if I send myself an email with the body, for example, of HT1003, and I click on send, switch back to Fiori, and now I refresh the screen here, then I see the email embedded in my SAP Fiori screen. So basically this means that now the user can work in the Fiori screen, but the user has access to both information from the SAP and the Microsoft ecosystem. Okay, I hope this gave you a good understanding of what you can do connecting different user interfaces with OData with your SAP system. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon on this channel.